All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to unpack a term that has been sending some serious shockwaves through the tech world, the SaaSpocalypse. It sounds super dramatic, right? Well, trust me, the story behind it absolutely lives up to the name. So let's start with a number. $285 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. That's how much value just poof, evaporated from software and financial stocks on a single Monday. To put that into perspective, a company like Thomson Reuters lost over $8 billion in one day. The scale here is it's hard to wrap your head around. So you can imagine the chaos, right? Well, the trader at Jefferies, watching this whole thing unfold, just perfectly captured the mood. He called it very much get-me-out style selling, pure panic. And in that moment, he actually coined the term SaaSpocalypse. This wasn't just a market correction, a bad day. This was a stampede for the exits. But here's the thing. The massive sell-off, the panic, that's the headline, but it's not the real story. The real story, the question we have to answer, is why then? Why that specific Monday? What on earth happened that made the entire market, all at once, decide that the fundamental value of software had changed forever? And here's the answer, the spark that lit the fire. The AI company Anthropic released a new set of tools. We're talking about incredibly capable AI agents that could just do complex jobs in finance, law, and sales. And the market's conclusion was immediate and it was brutal. The logic is pretty simple, right? Why are you going to pay for 10 different software licenses when one single AI agent can run the entire workflow? And just like that, everything changed. This is no exaggeration. We are watching the end of an era. The golden age of software as a service, that whole business model built on charging per person, per seat, it's giving way to something entirely new, where you don't pay for the seat, you pay for the task. Think about it like this. In the old world, the pretty user interface was the product. That was the value. You had 10 people on your team, you bought 10 licenses. Simple. But in this new world, it's the outcome that matters. Now you might have 5 people, but they're managing a team of 50 AI agents who work 24/7, and you're paying pennies for each task they do. Suddenly, that beautiful interface becomes kind of optional. And listen, this isn't some far-off theoretical future. It is happening right now. Just look at this carnage. Salesforce, ServiceNow, Intuit, all of them down over 25% for the year. The market is screaming a message here, and it is crystal clear. If your business's main value is a user interface, you are in the crosshairs. So if all that money is flowing out of traditional software, where is it going? Well, overall IT budgets are growing at a healthy clip, but AI budgets, they're doubling. The source material we're drawing from calls AI investment a black hole that's just sucking in every available dollar. And why? Because unlike a lot of tech trends, the return on investment with AI is massive, it's undeniable, and it's happening now. This brings us to a really core concept that explains why this all felt so sudden, like it came out of nowhere. It's called the Capability Overhang. It's this idea that there was this huge hidden potential building up under the surface, completely unseen by most of us, just waiting for the right trigger. So what does that actually mean, capability overhang? Well, it's just a situation where the tech is way more powerful than how we're actually using it. I mean, think about it. For the past year, most people were using these incredible AI models as like a supercharged search engine. We were missing 99% of their real power because the tools to unlock it just didn't exist yet. And I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. It's perfect. The AI's hidden power was like tons of snow quietly piling up on a mountain ledge. That immense weight, the potential for an avalanche, it was there the whole time. It just needed a few cracks to appear all at once for the whole thing to come crashing down. So what were those cracks? What finally triggered the avalanche? Well, it turns out it wasn't just one thing. It was 4 major breakthroughs that all happened at pretty much the same time, creating the perfect storm that finally unleashed that hidden power. All right, here are the 4 big ones. First, the models got way smarter, and this is the crazy part. They started helping build the next generation of models. Second, they escaped the chat box. They were working inside tools like Excel and Slack. Third, the kinds of tasks they could do on their own just exploded in length and complexity. And finally, we figured out how to make thousands of these agents work together as a team. You combine all 4 of those, that's your avalanche. Okay, so the avalanche is started. Now what?
Well, now we're seeing huge companies adapt to these new rules of value, not in years or months, but in real time. The old playbook is being thrown right out the window.
And what's really wild is that the old enterprise lag is gone. You know, that 18-month gap before big companies adopt what startups are doing? It's disappeared. Take Goldman Sachs. They didn't just test this stuff. They embedded AI engineers directly into their teams. They went from simple coding help to using agents for core financial operations. In a flash. The result? Their CEO is now openly talking about using AI to, quote, constrain headcount growth.
And it is not just Goldman. Get this. Norges Bank, which is Norway's massive $1.7 trillion sovereign wealth fund, used AI agents to save 213,000 hours of work.
Let that sink in for a second. That's a 20% productivity gain in an organization that's already incredibly efficient. That is the equivalent of hiring over 100 new, brilliant employees who work 24/7. This is the kind of staggering ROI that is fueling this whole revolution.
And here it is. This might be the most mind-blowing statistic of them all. 4%. That is the percentage of all public code commits on GitHub that are now authored, not just assisted, but fully written by a single AI model from Anthropic. A single AI is now responsible for 1 out of every 25 public code changes.
This just reshuffles the entire deck. There's a new hierarchy of what makes a business defensible. At the very top, king of the hill, is unique data and IP. In the middle, you have great APIs that let AI agents easily use your service. And at the bottom, the pretty user interface. The UI has officially become a commodity.
Okay, so this brings it all back home, to us. This isn't just about stocks and big corporations. This is about how we all work. The ground is shifting right under our feet, and the message is clear. It's time to adapt and adopt.
And this leads to a really great question from the source material I want you to ask yourself. If you're still only using these incredibly powerful AI tools as a better search engine, are you driving a Formula One car in first gear? Are you just missing 99% of the power that's right there at your fingertips?
This is the new reality. It's that simple. The old business model of charging per human seat is on its way out. The value is moving to the API, that connection that lets an AI use a service, because in this new world, the agent is the new user, not the human.
And if there's just one line you take away from all this, let it be this one. This isn't just about making things more efficient. It's much deeper. The models have now fundamentally learned the logic and the workflows that used to belong only to knowledge workers and to the very software they used.
So, what does this mean for you? It's a call to action. Your job isn't to compete with these tools. It's to learn how to master them, to become the person who can orchestrate those 50 agents we talked about earlier. The key is to completely adjust your assumptions about what's possible, and you have to do it now, ASAP.